welcome back subscribers and hello YouTube viewers. On this occasion we're off to the Lilydale railway station, and as per usual we'll have a look at some of the old historic photos, and I'll also give you whatever facts I can find from the internet. So here we go. So the Lilydale railway station is a commuter railway station on the terminus of the Lilydale line, part of the Melbourne railway network. It serves the northeastern Melbourne suburb of Lilydale in Victoria, Australia. Lilydale is an elevated premium station featuring an island platform with two sides. It opened on the 1st of December 1882 with the current terminus station and stabling provided in 2021. He initially opened as Lilydale, that's spelled Lilydale, spelling that matched the original township. The station was given its current name of Lilydale with one L on the 15th of May 1888. Lilydale station opened as mentioned on the 1st of December 1882 and an extension of the railway line from Camberwell, which had been extended from Hawthorn in April of that same year. Now, there has been more than one just station at Lilydale, and the second station building was opened in 1888, which relocated to Yarra Junction in 1915, having been replaced by the current building that we'll see a little bit later. When the new elevated station was constructed during level crossing elimination works between 2020 and 2022, the old ground level building was retained. Its former refreshment rooms are listed on the Victorian Heritage Register. Until it was terminated at Lilydale in 1980, the line continued to Healesville. The line between Yarra Glen and Healesville is now part of the Yarra Valley Railway. Also branching off at Lilydale was the Warburton line. It opened in 1901 and closed on the 1st of August 1965. The track was removed in the early 1970s, as was the bridge over the Maroondah Highway. Most of the right-of-way is still intact and has been turned into the Lilydale to Warburton Rail Trail. Until 1967, a turntable also existed at the Lilydale station. In 1985, boom barriers replaced the hand manual gates at the former Maroondah Highway level crossing, which was located at the up end of the station. Occurring in that year, a signal panel was provided at the station, which controlled Lilydale and Murrelbach. It was abolished in September 2021, with control transferred to Ringwood. On the 29th of November 1991, a Hitachi train set rolled away from the stabling yard for about 1.5 kilometres towards Coldstream. It crashed through a wire fence and traversed the Beresford and Nelson Roads level crossing and was about to climb a hill when it rolled back 300 metres. Police advised that only one of the fork brakes on the train was engaged. A train driver was suspended due to the incident. Now I'll just interrupt with the history and some information I found about Lilydale Station as we're about to now do the walkabout. So please enjoy the rest of the images, and once the drone goes up I'll continue with the bit of history and some information that I have discovered about the Lilydale railway station. back subscribers, and hello YouTube viewers. On this occasion we're at the Lilydale railway station, and one of the reasons I've come here is because they have a brand new railway station, but instead of demolishing the old one, they've kept it, and it looks like it's due for some renovations, and it might end up being some sort of cafe, restaurant, maybe even an arts gallery sort of setup. So we'll have a look around and let's see what we see. So there we have in the distance the brand new railway station. It's on a platform, so it's up above the road surface, so cars can travel under it, so it doesn't impede the flow of traffic. There are a few plaques about in relation to the old station, which we'll have a look at. This is probably the first one, and hopefully you would have already seen quite a number of old photos that I've been able to find from the State Library. So it looks like they might have found some of the same photos as I have. So there's one of the plaques. It just tells you that the railway station line and station were officially opened on the 1st of December 1882. So what we'll do, we'll have a look at the old station first, and then I'll go for a bit of a walk and show you the new one. So it is all cordoned off, the old one, so they are doing some sort of renovations here. I'll be able to get relatively close, but not very close. And on this occasion, I did come on my trusty motorbike, the Royal Enfield Himalayan. Yes, a lot of people have a bit of a giggle when they see it. It is underpowered, but it suits my needs just perfectly. So here's another sort of plaque or information sort of thing, and it tells you that there used to be refreshment rooms here. Gives you an idea of some of the prices of what they were selling. So if you want to press pause, by all means press pause, but there's some of the prices that people were paying for back in the day, so that's quite interesting. So once again, that's the station. As you can see, it's all boarded up. You've got pretty much very limited access, but hopefully I'll be able to get the drone up, and the drone will be able to show a lot more of what this thing looks like. It's also, what I've noticed, it's also a railway siding, so there is a lot of trains that are parked up, especially on the weekends when the peak use of railway isn't in use. So I'm assuming Monday to Friday all the trains that are parked up in the siding get used up, and on the weekends they have a weekend sort of schedule or roster. But she still is a beautiful looking old station. It really is a nice looking station. It does look like they're putting some effort in to maintain it and bring it up to some sort of use for the community, which is just great. Yeah, so we can't really get onto the platform at all. This is about as close as we get. There is a car park right next to the railway station, as is a sporting oval. You've got great parking here, so I'm assuming there's a lot of parking because a lot of people who have now moved in the area commute into town by train. So as we can see, I was going to make my way to the other side of this older station, but it's going to be a pointless exercise because, as you can see, they've got a barrier that's very high, and it's going to deny you any line of sight to see the other side or where the old platforms used to be. Along this side, it's not too bad. You can see all the way down the verandas where platform 1 used to be. It does look like a real spectacular station. I'm sure it was well patronised during the back in the day. So here we have the new station. It is a Sunday morning. It does have an elevator here, which I will take, or a lift, and I will go onto the platform, and hopefully we'll get a bit of a see of what the old station looks like from above, even though we will get the drone up. I'm pretty sure that I won't have any dramas with the drone. So here's the lift. Yeah, it's been hit by a bit of graffiti. It is a bit messy, but it is what it is. It looks like it's also the location of a bus hub that can take you to a further journey that you seek. So here we are. Yeah, I thought we might be able to get a better view of the old station, but you sort of get an idea. And as you can see in the distance, the siding for the trains parked up. And I do like how they've redirected the train line or the tracks around the old station, and it's much, much higher than it once was. So there it is. That's pretty good. So we'll come away to the new one. Now, to be fair, these new stations, some of them look fantastic. They have a more, I guess, modern architectural sort of look about them. Is it everyone's taste? I have no idea. But I'm sure in another 100 years, people might say, that looks pretty good. But who's to say? It is what it is. So, yep, a very much elevated platform. It does overlook the township of Lilydale. This one is obviously parked up for the day. And I have to admit, I do like the Aboriginal artwork. I think that's terrific. That looks really good. I do like it. So here we are on the new Lilydale Platform 1 station. People are waiting. Here's a bit more of that artwork on the metro train. It does look quite nice, I have to admit. That looks pretty good. So there are more than one set of lifts to take you up to this elevated platform. It does look like this train is going, as there are people inside. So here's another image of the artwork, which is great. But as you can see, it's, I don't know, it sort of lacks character. Some of these, not all of them, but some of these modern stations do lack a little character. And that's just my own opinion. I'm no art critic or architectural guru to say what's good or bad. It's just my own personal opinion. So as you can see the time, it's 10:26 in the morning. I will have breakfast. I've only had a cup of tea so far before venturing out this way. And it did only take less than 1 hour on a Sunday morning to come out to Lilydale from the actual CBD of Melbourne. Those that might be aware, I actually do live right in the middle of the city of Melbourne, within the CBD. So that's it, that's the station. All is good. You get to see the rooftops of some of the factories in the area, or some of the buildings in the area. And as I mentioned earlier, it does appear that the railway station is also the hub for a major sort of bus terminal. So I have seen quite a number of buses coming in now this immediate area. So if you had to continue on with your journey to another town, you can do it here. What I have noticed is quite a number of people have come here with bicycles. So this is a great way of getting around for a day trip. I did see a family of 3 come out of the train with their bicycles. They took them in the lifts, brought them down, and I'm assuming they might be cycling to maybe one of the nearby vineyards or cafes or restaurants, or just touring around the countryside, which is a great way to spend a day. So I'm making my way down via the stairs from the new station. And I thought I'd give you a bit of a look-see to how it looks like underneath. So now we're going on to the other side where there's another car park. There is plenty of car park spots. Whether or not it's sufficient during peak periods, I have no idea. But there seems to be a lot. So if you're coming out here on a weekend, there is parking available. And once again, I still think it's a great idea if you want something to do. Catch the train out to Lilydale with your bicycles, either on your own or with the family or whatever. And once you're here, even if you've got an electric bike, there's a fair bit to do in Lilydale. I'm not going to show you some of the sights and sounds of Lilydale. We're just going to focus on the railway station. Lilydale is quite large. There's a lot of historical buildings here, a lot of churches, a lot of vineyards. So we're just going to focus and concentrate on the railway station. So here we are at what appears to be the old goods sheds for the Lilydale railway station. I would assume that's a platform, and at some stage in its life there would have been tracks just left of this platform to load up the carriages. And I can tell you now, the shed's being used by the Model Railway Club of Warrandyte, which was established in 1989, which is just fantastic. So we'll just zoom in onto that. So I'm assuming they have a bit of a membership happening, and if you're into model railway stuff, this is the place for you. So that's just terrific. As you can see, we can sort of see the station to a certain degree from this side. So this is the other side. I'll just pan left and right for you. I have to admit, it's quite a long station. And way in the distance is the brand new one, and there's car parking available on this side as well. So here we are on that little platform of what I assume was once the goods platform, where you did your deliveries and placed them on the railway cars and box cars or whatever they're called. Once again, by no means am I an expert in anything to do with railways or their infrastructure. I just find it fascinating that the railway system, its infrastructure, is probably some of the oldest things that you can see from back in the day. I think pretty much everyone's aware that in 1850 was when bricks and mortar played a major role in the construction of government buildings, and that's why we get to see a lot more churches, pubs, post office, courthouses, railway stations came into its own, and major networks were set up, and that's why we see so many railway stations from way back then to now still standing, especially the bricks and mortar one. It's interesting that the one here in Lilydale is a timber one to a certain degree. So I'm assuming they didn't have that much money, or they didn't find enough gold, or whatever the reason was. It is a major station, so I'm surprised that it wasn't a bricks and mortar one, or maybe the population didn't allow for that. So when you go to places like Bendigo and Ballarat, Marysborough and all those sort of places, they have extremely large and bricks and mortar type stations because they had the money to do so. Now, if you are coming out of the new railway station and making your way to the old railway station, there is a path, and that's what I'm on right now. And on that path, there's some quite good information about the station. So, if we look here, it's got a little memo saying that the railway comes to Lilydale. This one tells us that in 1871, the Lilydale population was 212. So that's not too many. In 1882, railway brings prosperity. and that's always been the case. You build a station, and then a lot of the farmers will come into the area. They could move their goods and whatnot. So the industry flourishes. Brickworks, fruit, dairy, wine, and timber mining in the area of Lilydale. And then from here we go to from trade to tourism. And you can probably hear in the background motorbikes going past. It's a big motorcycle sort of location. Some of the roads are very windy, which attracts a lot of the motorcyclists, and it's a good place to come. So tourism flocks to the Australian Switzerland, so that's what they're calling Lilydale. They're comparing it to Switzerland. So here we got railway reaches Hillsville in 1889, so it continued on further. In 1901, the Lilydale population was 1,134. And then here we got change here for the Warburton line. So a new line was created from this location. And then there was a new Lilydale station in 1914. So actually the one we just saw, the old one, is the second edition, so to speak. And then up here we've got, what do we got here? We've got the refreshment room, cup of tea, glass of milk, and fruitcakes. So as you can see, the prices there are very, very cheap. Wow. So we got a downturn of Warburton in 1965 and a decline. Hillsville in, so obviously the population slowly became reduced, and like most country towns, unfortunately, parents want the best for their children, send them to university, get them a trade, and they avoid the farm life, which then also becomes a problem for any and every town. So here we go, 2021, end of the line. So Warburton, Lilydale is the end of the line. Once again, I did mention some of these plaques around the old station. So from a terminus to a junction when the Warburton line was opened. So the railway from Hawthorn to Lilydale opened in 1882. So from Hawthorn in Melbourne, you could make your way to Lilydale, which was pretty good. So if you want to press pause, just press pause. I'll come in a little bit closer and you can read the rest of it in your own time. Okay, so there's the Warburton rail trail. So as I mentioned earlier, there was a few people coming off the railway, the station and the train here at Lilydale with bicycles. So I'm assuming they're going to make their way onto the Warburton rail trail. So that's a great adventure, I think. So if you're into cycling, mountain biking, all that sort of stuff, looking for a new adventure, a new trail to go on, this wouldn't be a bad one, I guess. Now, just jumping in with a bit more research on the Lilydale railway station. On the 31st of July 1996, Lilydale was upgraded to a premium station. In 2015, the Level Crossing Removal Project announced it was planning to grade separation of the crossing at Maroondah Highway. In 2019, the designs were revealed and in 2020 work commenced on the project, and in late 2021 the level crossing was removed. The chosen method was to raise the railway line above the former level crossing, and as part of the plans, the ground level station building remained where it was, being heritage listed. The rail bridge on John Street was demolished, and the land between it and the level crossing became an activity zone located underneath the new station. On the 19th of November 2021, the rebuilt station officially opened. So that's pretty much about it on what I've been able to research on the Lilydale station. Once again, all the credits and references to the old photos and the voiceover information that I've provided will be in the description below. So please now enjoy the aerial view of the old and the new of Lilydale Railway Station. Okay, so here we are at the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the aerial or drone view of the two stations and the siding. If you did like the video, by all means, click on that like button or that thumbs up icon. Please consider subscribing. Subscribing doesn't cost you 1 cent and it really does help the channel immensely. But most importantly, stay safe, commute safe, and have a great day. And thanks for watching, and bye for now.